So welcome everyone. Today we're going to delve into the idea of thinking fast and slow. So the style, and I think I mentioned it to a few of you before. So the style of this class is an AI action class. So what we're going to do is we are actually not going to learn about prompting and how do I use ChatGPT, but you will need to have your ChatGPT open because I am going to give you some prompts as we walk through the class. And then as you work, let me get my words straight. It's like, I'm trying to talk too fast. As we walk through the class, there will be a learn component. So the first prompt, you will learn about a little bit more about the topic. And then the second prompt I give you, which we will spend more time working through, is the apply prompt. So as you work through this prompt, ChatGPT will be asking you a series of questions, mainly to get some context from you so that at the end it can come up with a plan that you can use moving forward. So, thinking fast and slow, using AI to outsmart your brain. And this is based on the work of Daniel Kahneman from the book Thinking Fast and Slow. I haven't read the book, but I have listened to the Audible version. This is a different way of approaching learning from experts. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Hill. I'm an AI transformation expert and creator of the AI Edge program. So I help businesses outthink their competition by making AI-powered decisions faster, smarter, and with less regret, which is timely for the topic today. And my fundamental belief is that we should be enhancing human potential with AI, not looking to simply replace people. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to go through and we're going to look at some of the aspects of thinking fast and slow. And then we're going to use ChatGPT to guide you through a process of learning and applying the principles. So sometimes the biggest risk in business is not necessarily moving too fast, it's thinking too fast, and not actually learning the science of how do I make decisions and what are the different ways that I can make decisions. And today we're going to use AI to see if we can get better outcomes and take away some of our own personal biases. So why does this matter? So you and I both know that we make hundreds of decisions every day. Some of them are on autopilot, and some of them can have big impacts on your business. So this class is all about slowing down just enough so you can make smarter, clearer calls without being paralyzed by analysis. So you'll learn about and let me just move that up a little bit. As I said, this is my first time running a presentation with Gamma, but I wanted you guys to see what you can create with AI as well. So when we get to the prompts, you'll be looking at two systems of thinking. System one is that fast, automatic, almost unconscious type decision. And then system two is the slow, deliberate, and an analytical and effortful. That's a hard word to kind of get all out at once. So we look at using a car metaphor, though your AI may come up with a different metaphor when you run your prompt. So system one is like cruise control. Think of it this way: smooth, fast, efficient. And system two is like manual driving. So you're slower, but you've got full control, particularly if you hit a sharp turn. So what we're going to do is I'll just quickly go through some learning objectives in a moment. And then I'm going to give you the learn prompt. So you'll be copying and pasting that into ChatGPT. I'll show you first. Then we'll do the apply prompt. So you'll work your way through the questions. And then at the end, we'll have time to share not only what did you learn, but how do you think that you're going to apply this? So what I would like you to take away at the end is to be able to understand the dual system theory of thinking, to recognize and mitigate those cognitive biases, engage system 2 thinking for better business judgment, which is what we all would aspire to, I think. And number 4 is build a personal decision-making strategy. So by the time that you leave here today, if you get through all of the questions, you should have a plan/strategy that you can come back to and refer to as often as you need to. Now, thinking fast and slow in business, fast thinking can hurt hiring based on gut feel, jumping to solutions, and sometimes trusting first impressions. And where slow thinking can help you is things like negotiation strategy, strategic planning, or budget reviews and investment decisions. Now, think of this as using AI today as your co-driver. You'll possibly generate options and ideas that you may not have thought of by yourself. And one of the things that I think is really good about using a large language model is that you're not starting from that blank page syndrome. You have somebody who can come up with ideas for you. But also remember, it can question your assumptions, and you can question its output as well. It can help you summarize opposing viewpoints, and it can also distill down and clarify from a whole lot of data and ideas that you've got, just get right down to the main point. So that was a quick whiz around thinking fast and slow, because I'm not the expert. We're going to turn over to ChatGPT in a moment, or I will be giving you prompts. So if you're not in ChatGPT, you can use Copilot or Claude or any of the other platforms that you like. So in a moment, I'll give you the prompt, but what I would like to do is find where I've got the prompt. So I'll give you a link to this document in a tick. So that one there, that's your learn prompt. So what you're going to do is just copy that. And then we're going to go to ChatGPT. And I did run it before just in case ChatGPT was down when I was running the workshop. And then I'll pop that in there. Now, the only context you need to put in is this area here where it says my role, my company, and company description. So I normally just put the owner at Discover Your Edge and creator of the AI Edge. Did I spell that correctly? Good. And what you will get then is around about 1,000 words, just walking you through and giving you a much better understanding than I just gave you of what is behind the idea of thinking fast and slow. So as you can see, it's not running particularly quickly today, but it is running. So using the metaphor of a car, it's walking through, giving you the overview of each of the systems, and I'm wanting it to finish so I can show you something down the bottom. And always the way, it feels like it's taking forever to get to the bottom. So what we're going to do is I will grab that link for you guys. Where's the share? Copy link. And I'm just going to pop that in the chat for you. So you can go ahead and grab grab that first prompt. So as you can see, there's quite a bit to read through. So we'll take about 5 minutes or so to read through once you've actually run your prompt. And now we've got to the bottom of my response. And for those of you who are not familiar with ChatGPT, if you don't feel like reading, you can actually just click on this little button down the bottom, which says read aloud. So if we do that.
Number 1. The mind is a car, driving human decision-making with Kahneman's thinking fast and slow. Imagine your mind is a car. Most
All
of the
right.
time.
So what we're going to do now is I will jump back here. And is everybody, I'm going to stop share so I can see everybody's faces. Now, is everybody okay with copying and pasting that prompt in? Are you all good? All right, so I've got 12:13 by my computer clock. Let's take 5 minutes and just go through, read through, and have a think about how this applies to your business. And then when we come back, then I'll walk you through the ideas behind the second prompt, and we'll run the second prompt. So I'm just going to turn my video off, but I will be here if you want me. Okay, so I hope by now that you've all had a chance to read through and at least get the main part of the information that was created for you. And what we're going to do now, and I nearly forgot to share, I did remember to start the recording again, so that's a bonus. So now what we're actually going to do is we're going to go to the second prompt. So in the document that I shared with you, it's quite a long prompt, and I've done it in italics so you can see it's different to the other one. So literally what we will do is just copy and paste all of this. So as you can see, it goes for a couple of pages, so make sure you grab all of it. And then we'll go over to ChatGPT and we'll paste that in. Now, what you've got here is when you run the whole prompt, but what will happen is ChatGPT is going to act as your cognitive psychology expert and will guide you through implementing the framework of the dual system theory. Now, first of all, it will provide you a short introduction at the beginning of each step that it's going to walk you through. It will ask you for context and information. So it will ask you to give examples of when you have used system 1 or system 2 thinking and what type of decisions you've made. Now, bear in mind, you don't have to share any of this with anyone, that we will have a share bit at the end, but you don't have to go into details. Once you have answered the questions, it will actually run the subtask, and then it will ask you if you are ready to move on before proceeding to the next step. If you're not happy with the outcome or the answer that it gives you, or the context that it's giving, just speak to it and say, no, I don't like this bit. I want you to change it, or that doesn't sound like me, or can I add something else, or you've missed something out, or I don't understand what you mean. Any of those plain and simple things. And then you will move through. So in step one, it's about exploring the characteristics. So it'll ask for examples of decisions that you make daily, based on system 1 and system 2. And then it'll give you explanations of how these examples relate to each, so that you've got examples that you've done that relate specifically. Then in step 2, it's about identifying the cognitive biases and heuristics. And then in step 3, it's about leveraging system 2 for critical decisions. Then in step 4, it's creating your own personal dual system strategy. As I said, this is something that you can refer back to, or if you want to, you can run the prompts again anytime you like. And then the final step is to present the key takeaways and the finalized plan. And it will ask you at the end if you're happy with the action plan and does it really address your goals. And obviously, at any step along the way, if you're not happy with what you see and what it's created, please just talk to it and adjust it as you walk through. Now, before we get, I'm just going to let that run while I'm just checking in with everyone. So before we get going, does anyone have any questions, or is that all straightforward about what you will be doing in the second part? Okay, a couple of thumbs up, so that's cool. Anyone else? Excellent. So what I'm going to get you to do now is, we're at 12:22. How about if it's probably going to take a little bit of thinking time and coming up with your answers. So how about we work through till 12:45? I'll put that in the chat if anyone forgets. I will turn my camera and my microphone off, but I will be here if you have any questions. We all good? So have fun, be honest with yourself. And I'm really intrigued to hear what everyone has to say in the share. And I'm going to pause the recording so we don't have 20. And then what we might jump back into is, we'll share that and we'll go back here. Right. So let me find the right slide. So let's have a share. Who would like to? Did I just stop the share then? Can you still see the slide?
Yeah, we can still see the slide.
All right, because I can't. I've pressed a button and now I can see everyone's face and not the slide. The joys of being tech challenged. I shouldn't say that when I'm talking about AI, should I?
Maybe you need to stick that in the ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I do. So let's have a look. So let's have a share about, I mean, you don't have to. This is totally up to you. But did any biases show up for you? Where could you be using AI to actually slow down your thinking? And what's one way that you think you will use what you've learned today in your business in the future? Who would like to go first, or do I have to be like school teacher and nominate? Oh, thank you, Michael.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like I haven't got too far through it. I'm only at step 3, so I've been maybe typing too much information in, but I guess that gives to the richness of the experience, right? So,
Yeah.
but one of the key things for me about a bias that I sometimes have is making that gut, non-fact-based decision, particularly when I'm sitting in front of potential clients and starting to make runs some messages in my head on why they might not be a suitable client for me.
Okay.
And so it's sort of almost making someone's decision on their behalf without getting all the facts, which doesn't lend to which takes away from the conversation where I could really add them a lot of value. That does
Yeah.
happen at times when I've sort of just with someone that I'm not really feeling it.
Okay. Well, can I just share with you, when I ran this exercise earlier today, just to make sure I had a copy in case everything went down, one of the things that I put in there was, prejudging people and deciding too early that they might not be a good fit to work with. So interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's sort of like giving me a little bit of a slap on the wrist to be a bit more system two in
Okay.
regards to those thought processes in the moment.
Cool. Who else? Would anyone else like to share what they learned today or how they're going to apply it?
Yep, I'm happy to go.
Excellent.
Firstly, thank you so much for that prompt.
Pleasure.
I am well and truly into the AI rabbit hole. I use it to do a whole bunch of things already, but I haven't. I really love the structure of that, so I'm going to R&D it if it's okay. Rip off and duplicate.
Or just simply ask me. I've got a few in the back office.
Yeah, so thank you for that. That was
Pleasure.
worth the price of admission.
Oh, did you pay?
It's worth twice as much, Michelle. Whatever I paid is worth twice as much. What it was interesting as I was doing it, I had two. I was thinking in parallel because the prompt, well, the responses to the prompts, I was thinking of my clients and the biases that they have in their selection process. So I think I can sort of work on that to make sure that my messages are going out and hitting the right mark. And then in terms of my decision-making process, it's actually come up. I've got a particular process or program that I'm trying to develop at the moment, and it revolves around an email marketing nurturing campaign. And I tend to over-engineer and overcomplicate things because I want them to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so what this has done is it's allowed me to identify that system two sometimes. That's part of my value when I go into working with businesses, that I sometimes can be the handbrake to the business when the entrepreneur is off doing system one, I'm doing system two. But as an individual, I can see how it can stop me from progressing. So that was valuable. I've now got I'll do it again, spending a little bit more time on the answers, but it's given me now a framework with a conclusion on it. So yeah, well, it was brilliant. Really, really, thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll have a go, Michelle.
Thank you, Kurt.
I managed to get through it, and I agree with Steve. It's the sort of thing that you need to go through a second time to give yourself plenty of time. And I'm aware that my natural bias is to achieve an awful lot each and every day, so I can, and I'm very conscious of not taking on too much. But I just want to share with you, Michelle, I managed to get through to the personal dual system strategy.
Yeah.
And one was in the area of sales strategy and business development, which I thought was very good. In system one, it said, trust your instinct on where conversations feel warm and high potential. And then system two, activation, if I get that word right. Every fortnight, review your top 5 client opportunities. And then it comes up with a few bullet points. What evidence supports your confidence? Where are you assuming rather than confirming? Use a 5-minute deal health checklist. Slow down the rush to qualify, and then it suggests to use the typical traffic light system. So I think that was really good.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Anyone else wants to put their neck on the line and share with us?
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. Can I share?
Absolutely, Claude.
Okay, so it's finding it a little bit hard to understand, but I've got system one in a little bit of a spreadsheet here. And it tells me the override strategy is to ask questions of clients. Just don't jump to assumptions,
Yeah.
and confirm the scope that they want you to work within. Seek opposing evidence if you are notice data, and because I work in the SEO space, so seek opposing data to see if your decisions are correct. Set your own KPIs, question if your situation is identical, and that's in reference to following strategies from success stories without context. And
Okay.
then the second one, it talks about what is that? Client vague on goals, confirm scope and driving. Feeling rushed, pause, engage a COR with the client. Testing new tactics. Always log, set review window, don't assess early. And pressure to scale, run through ready to scale checklist before you scale the business.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, very, very useful. I rushed through the whole process, unlike Michael. So
Yeah.
I'm sure if I put the time and effort, it'll give me a much better output to my
Yeah,
business and the plans.
it is the type of thing that you can revisit as
Mhm.
well. Yeah. Yeah. Nick, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just quickly, I asked the system to refer to my particular behavioral profile based on a certain psychometric evaluation platform. So, this is me. So based on that, how does that work? System 1, System 2, and I'm very much a System 1 operator, unlike Steve. So I'm the guy who's charging over the bridgehead and killing the woolly mammoth and all that kind of stuff. And so some of the things that it came back with was very much leave something until tomorrow. Don't react on gut instinct. Have a second pair of eyes to look through your work. Create conflict in decision making. So are you at risk of making a decision by yourself without having somebody else in the room? And in fact, even actively introduce someone into the meeting who is there as a devil's advocate to pour cold water on something that one might be trying to push through. So I thought that was excellent.
Great. Lisa, did you get your microphone working?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Oh,
can.
cool. Yeah, I got all the way to the end. I didn't spend, I put in just things that came to mind just so I could get through it. And as I got through it, I think I started to put in, when I got to step 4, I put a little bit more personal stuff in. So the biases, they probably the biggest standout, which is, I think I know I do it when employing people, which I don't have to do a lot, but whether you read a resume or you have prior knowledge of someone, you either, you seek out to confirm or deny that, that bias that you have, whether it's either good or bad. And I'm probably more a systems 1 person 2. And I think in some ways, in some situations that's good, but in others it's not, because I tend to take on too much and then get a bit overwhelmed with everything that I have to do. So I guess it came up with suggestions, like prioritization of things, categorize them into different quadrants of the Pomodoro technique. Is that it?
I think so. That's right.
Yeah, where you put them, it just having that visual gave me an idea of, instead of labeling a task to a certain area, actually label them as urgent, non-urgent, in that type of way, rather than categorizing work into subjects or work groups. Put them actually in more into urgency, order of urgency. Yeah.
Excellent. And Jarvis, did you want to share as well?
Hi, Michelle. The topic I was just looking at was around just an issue we're having at the moment where everyone running a business, you can do on the business work or in the business where you got inquiries, and just with a growing team, it's hard to navigate, you know, which one you do. So I just examined that, and probably I guess the solution there was, yeah, come up with just blocking out a certain time to not put myself in a position where I have to just decide between doing the two, so that there is dedicated time. There was probably a little bit in terms of other options, and then I guess in terms of breaking out the different aspects of some of the roles, like client assessment, it came up with sort of system 1 use and a system 2 activation there about categorizing, or then having the deeper review, setting that up. So it's helpful.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad that it was helpful. So thank you, everyone. And I hope you learnt something from the shares, as well as what you learnt from the workshop today. We are all connected, I believe, on LinkedIn. So if anybody would like to have a one-on-one chat with me, please feel free to reach out. Just send me a direct message, or my booking link is on LinkedIn. I run these type of classes every 2 weeks at the same time. Next fortnight, we will be creating an AI policy. So if you think that that might be important for your business, I can shoot you through the details. And then the following fortnight after that will be something along these lines where, and I can't even remember what topic I've chosen yet because I haven't created the event, but it will be something along the lines of, let's take a book and dissect the key features and how can you apply that to what you do in your business. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I will make sure I put you on the list just to let you know. And I promise not to harass. I'm not someone who's going to send you 55,000 emails and messages, but just so that you know what's happening. And if there's something that strikes the chord for you, please come along.
Michelle, before you go, AI policy, can you just give us, a couple of sentences of explanation of what that entails?
What that entails is having a look at what are the things that are useful and important, and what should you be considering when you're creating a policy, particularly if you have a team. It's like, what can they do? What can't they do? What data is allowed to be used into the system? What are the security things you have in place? When are you going to review this? How are you going to control? So it's the same format. So there'll be an essay at the start talking about all the different types of things you should consider when you're actually putting together an AI policy. And then the second part, we'll walk through the steps and we will create a draft of an AI policy for you. Disclaimer, it's not legal advice, so please don't ever say that I told you to do this, but it is something that you need to start considering. Even if you work by yourself, your clients will start to ask you along the lines of, privacy policies were a must-have, going back a number of years, but it is around, like, let's at least think about what you need to be putting into place. And then for you, Claude, you might like to talk to some of your customers as well about that.
Michelle,
Okay.
if I could chime in,
Yes.
I have actually done it. So I really do highly recommend it. It really puts you in a completely different mental space about the whole AI and policy thing. It's well worth going. Just thought I'd throw that in because I got great value out of it myself. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll pay you later.
Okay, I'll send you an invoice.
Okay, thanks everybody. We are
Thank you.
1 minute before time, so enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your Easter, and I will talk to you all at some stage soon.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Yeah.